Hola, mis criaturas de la noche. It's your girl, Mariana Muerte. And tonight, we're taking a little field trip to one of my favorite haunted hotspots in Southern California, the Fullerton Train Station. A beautiful historic landmark. But after the last train departs, there's an unsettling quiet. Before we talk about the ghost, you need to understand the station. If you've never been to Fullerton Station, let me paint the picture. Old Spanish Revival architecture, glowing old school lamps, endless tracks disappearing into the dark, people pacing around at 2 a.m. making choices, and an energy that says, someone died here, probably twice. It's romantic in a don't look behind you sort of way. Fullerton Train Station wasn't built as a quiet commuter stop. It was a railroad town's nerve center. The station dates back to 1887, built by the Santa Fe Railway, back when trains meant survival, money, migration, and danger. Thousands passed through here. Workers, soldiers, families, drifters. Some arriving, some leaving, some never really doing either. Rail yards like this were loud, chaotic, and deadly. Accidents weren't rare. Night work was common, and the tracks didn't forgive mistakes. Over time, stories started to collect, not official records, but rail stories, the kind workers passed down in lowered voices. Shadows on track 3, footsteps with no train scheduled, figures seen standing where no one should be. And that's the thing about old stations. They're not just places people pass through. There are places where some people never quite leave. Here's the part people don't like to talk about. Trains are one of the most efficient machines humanity ever built, and one of the most unforgiving. In the United States alone, hundreds of people die on train tracks every year. On average, around 500 pedestrians are killed annually by trains. People walking the tracks, crossing where they shouldn't, or misjudging speed and distance. And then there's the darker reality. Rail systems also see hundreds every year. Estimates range from 300 to 500 deaths annually, tied to people choosing the tracks in moments of desperation. Before we go any further, let me say this. If you or someone you love is struggling, help exists. In the United States, you can call or text 988 and Crisis Lifeline. It's free. It's confidential, and it's there when things feel like too much. In spaces like this, where history, loss, and the unknown overlap, people sometimes mistake proximity to death for a longing for it. But that's not what this is. Ideas like memento mori get misunderstood. People hear the word death and assume obsession, darkness, a desire to disappear. But memento mori was never about chasing death. It was about remembering life. Remembering that time is finite, which makes every choice heavier and every possibility more real. It's not a marker of morbidity. It's a reminder of agency. That even when life feels stuck, even when the rails seem to run only in one direction, this life can still become something else entirely. So if this space feels heavy, let it be grounding, not a pull toward the edge, but a reminder that you're still standing here. Memento mori means remember you will die, not to chase death, but to remember that this life matters, that your story isn't finished, that no matter how stuck you feel right now, life is still unfinished clay. It can change. It can break open. It can become something you haven't imagined yet. So if tonight feels heavy, stay. Not because the world is gentle, we all know it's not, but because it's still yours. Okay, back to the facts. A fully loaded train can take over a mile to stop. By the time an engineer sees someone on the rails, it's already too late. That's why rail workers don't say accident. They say incident. Because once it happens, the train doesn't stop for grief. The schedule continues. The rails reopen after an hour or so, and the weight of what happened gets carried by the people who witnessed it. Engineers, conductors, signal crews, people who go home knowing exactly what steel and momentum can do. So when someone says a station like Fullerton feels heavy at night, it isn't superstition, it's history. Steel remembers. And sometimes, people feel it. There's one story rail crews around the station still trade quietly. Late at night, when the platforms are empty and the lines are dark, some engineers and conductors say they've seen a figure on the tracks. An old-time rail worker, dressed out of another era, holding a lantern where no one should be standing, no radio call, no work order, and when the train slows, there's no one there. Rail people will tell you lights don't lie, but sometimes they don't explain themselves either. So the station itself has a famous ghost, a woman dressed in all white, seen standing near the tracks late at night. Classic. White dress, tragic backstory. Why are ghosts never like, "Hey, I'm Gary, died eating a Costco hot dog too fast"? Nope, it's always Victorian sadness. Anyway, witnesses say she appears on platform 1 or platform 3, depending on the night. She stands perfectly still, like she's waiting for a train that's never coming. And when the train finally roars past her, she's gone. And now for the fun part. Several people, and I mean people who don't even know each other, have said the same thing. They see her, they blink, and suddenly, she's on the other platform. No footsteps, no movement, just teleports, like she unlocked fast travel. To cross the tracks, you have to go up 2 stories and cross a pedestrian bridge. Not her. Ghost DLC, now with new mobility options. My favorite version of the story comes from a bartender who worked across the parking lot. She said she'd walk to her car after closing, and every single time she heard a woman crying by the tracks. She'd look, no one there. One night, she saw white fabric drifting on the platform like someone walking, but there was no person inside it, just the dress moving. Now here's the part where things get suspicious. Years ago, a woman was hit by a train at Fullerton Station. Locals swear she's the one people keep seeing. Some versions say she jumped. Others say she fell. Others say she was pushed. Ah, yes, the classic California accident. It's like our state specialty. So if you ever visit Fullerton Station late at night, maybe waiting for that midnight train to nowhere, and you see a woman in white standing perfectly still, don't wave, don't talk to her, don't ask for directions. She's not going where you're going. And if she suddenly appears on the opposite platform, just remember, ghosts don't need Metrolink schedules. They run on vibes. All right, mis amores, that's tonight's spooky commute. If this one hit a little heavier, thank you for staying with me. Tell me in the comments, should I hit up the Whittier Greenleaf Ghost next? Or do we go full chaos mode and talk about Skinwalker Ranch? It's your girl, Mariana Muerte, signing off from platform 9 3/4.